And good evening. The results are still rolling in from several states tonight as we get closer to knowing who will secure the Democratic nomination for president.
The frontrunners are Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And tonight, Michigan was the important state to win. Joe Biden took home that victory, although Sanders was not too far behind. We're still awaiting the final numbers from Washington State, Idaho, and North Dakota, but Biden won Missouri and Michigan. Here's a look at the most recent delegate counts tonight. Biden leads with 771 delegates, and Bernie Sanders has 631.
So we watched that horse race, but as they say, it ain't over until it's over. And here to talk about how soon it will be over is 10 News political analyst Dr. Ed Lynch. Ed, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
Tonight, another late night, but a big night for Biden. He doesn't have enough delegates yet, but
Not
I think,
yet.
Boy, is it in the cards? I mean, is it essentially over?
I think it's probably essentially over, and I think most people in the Democratic establishment will acknowledge that over the next 24 hours or so. The big question is whether or not Bernie Sanders, and an even bigger question, whether or not Bernie Sanders supporters will acknowledge that it's over.
That's not my sense of the Sanders people or Sanders himself. But if you are Bernie Sanders right now, what do you do to stay alive with all the momentum going Biden's way?
Well, you can do one of two things. You can pick a couple of key states where you think you're going to do well and just focus on them, concede everything else to Biden, hope for a big splash, or you can just try to stay close so that even though Biden is racking up the wins, he's not racking up an insurmountable lead in delegates.
So how do you think Biden's fortunes change so quickly? Is it just because Democratic voters think he's the one that might be able to beat Donald Trump?
I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think it was a lot of second thoughts about Bernie Sanders and how he would actually perform and his ideas would be received on the campaign trail. Biden's two biggest strengths, then, are that he is not Bernie Sanders and he is not Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of, I don't sense a lot of passion for Biden as Biden.
No. Absolutely not. And remember, it has been a very long time since Joe Biden has had to run in a competitive election. He was first elected to the Senate when I was in high school, and he hasn't really had a competitive election since. And he's starting to show some of that inexperience on the campaign trail. He's making some mistakes. He used a profanity with a voter earlier today or yesterday, and that's not going to play well, and it's going to raise some doubts at his age. He's older than Donald Trump. At his age, that's going to raise some doubts about his ability.
So do you think that when the pressure is on and assuming that it's him, if it's him versus Trump man to man, that he might unravel a little bit?
I think it's entirely possible. Yes. Now he's going to be in a very, very tough fight. Like Hillary Clinton, he's never faced anyone like Donald Trump, who does not play by the rules, who uses insults, who uses tweets. Biden was in the very gentlemanly atmosphere of the Senate for all of those years. This is going to be new for him.
All right. Dr. Ed Lynch, thank you very much.
Thank you.